Well, just when you thought that things couldn't get worse for Disney and they couldn't become any more anti-family friendly, they've taken yet another dangerous step. Let's check it out. So Disney, as I said, has taken another dangerous step into the darkness with its new animated sitcom series, Little Demon. Disney describes the storyline as follows, quote, 13 years after being impregnated by Satan, a reluctant mother and her Antichrist daughter attempt to live an ordinary life, end quote. Now, it's been done by a company called FX, which is owned by Disney. Let's check out the promo for it.
Mom, get in! Your dad is the devil, and you're the Antichrist.
I'm supposed to accept that you had sex with Satan? Or anyone?
Please allow me to introduce myself.
Come to your father, Damien.
Oh, you're a girl.
The future is female.
Where have you been?
The metaphysical realm.
When we dated, were you inside someone's corpse?
You had an unfinished dolphin tattoo. Don't be a snob.
She says I lied to protect you.
She sounds like a bitch.
That's what I said.
Hey, look at me. I'm bad grandma.
What do you make of this thing? Biblical or the media? You keep doing what your dad's doing, that evil will spread in you, and you'll be a soulless shell of a human and become, honestly, like a successful CEO in all likelihood.
Yeah, that's right. It's targeted at adults, but it's on Disney Plus, and therefore it'll be available to anybody who wants to. It makes light of hell in the demonic realm, and as you've seen, it focuses on Laura and her daughter Chrissy, who is the love child produced from her fling with Satan.
Hi. Hi. I'm Chrissy. Did you know that my mom had sex with Satan? My dad's the devil, and I'm the friendly neighborhood Antichrist.
This is my daughter. Kiss her ass or I'll slaughter your children.
You gaslit the wrong witch.
Ha! What are you gonna do? I'm the devil.
You're like superheroes.
Yeah, the trailer is, as you can see, filled with satanic imagery, animated gore, graphic violence, beheaded chickens, pentagrams, dismembered bodies, melting human flesh. And rather than being represented as dangerous, demonic, and terrifying, Satan is depicted as an average, middle-aged, cardigan-wearing suburban dad. Now, it's TVMA rated, which in the US basically means that it's targeted at adults, but Disney has broken its promise, a recent promise, to keep R-rated content from its streaming platform. At TVMA means it's equivalent to R-rated, but as you know, our young people and our kids will see this type of thing. Now, there's a congressman, Mike Johnson from Louisiana, and he posted about this. He said he was watching a opening football game, and he said the result was not the disturbing part. It came during the commercial break in the second quarter when the television audience was presented with the trailer for this new sitcom, Little Demon. He said, I couldn't get to the remote fast enough to shield my 11-year-old from the preview, and I wonder how many other children were exposed to it, and how many millions more will tune into the new series owned and marketed by Disney. Now, the actress who voices Laura said this in an interview.
Love that we are normalizing paganism. Laura is a pagan. She's a witch. She's jacked. She's got to protect her daughter from demons, and she's got to get her house in order.
Oh, how lovely. Yeah, violence, paganism, and satanic storylines cloaked in this attempted comedy. Another online review explains that after 2 decades of South Park, Family Guy, and other cartoon shock merchants, an animated series finding new ways to disgust is a genuine achievement, which is saying something. In that same interview, creators were asked what was the inspiration for this cartoon series.
Okay. Yeah, no, so the show started as this idea about this woman that had a cursed womb. And, once she had sex, she basically would give birth to the Antichrist. And we decided to propel that story to a different place where it was actually starting at her giving birth to the Antichrist, and she had this tryst with the devil. And at first she was even younger when we first came up with the idea. It flash forwarded to like 5 years later, but we eventually found that 13 was like the best place to kind of center the story, just because it was like the most thematically rich area to kind of go into.
And like we're just all huge horror nerds, you know, everything from like, you know, I don't know, Village. I haven't thought about Village of the Damned. I don't know why I thought of that one, but whatever. Suspiria, you know, Revenge, 2017's Revenge, great one. And yeah, it just, we found that like the like a mother-daughter relationship when daughter's a teen, and like puberty and broken family, all those things lent themselves really well to like the horror genre, which we love so much.
Hey, that's slightly interesting, isn't it? Mother-daughter relationships, broken family dynamics, all about a horror genre. Look, here's a warning from a New York pastor who reveals the real agenda here. Mike Signorelia, I think is how you say it. He's a New York pastor.
I think there's a war spiritually going on. The book of Ephesians talks about it, and our kids will be the casualties. There's a fight over a generation. You know, this show is through Disney, through FX, and they're going to tell you it's an adult show, but we all know that children want to watch the things that they shouldn't watch. And so it's a cartoon. It's in a format kids love, and the main character is in middle school. And so it's highly relatable to kids that are in an age where they're making decisions about their identity. And we have to uncover what I believe are the works of the enemy as strategies to literally condition our children.
Yeah, that is so true, isn't it? And I want to leave you with this excerpt from an interview with Dr. Ted Bauer, who I met in Sydney at the World Congress of Families about 10 years ago. And Baehr is a Hollywood mainstay. He's the founder of Movieguide, an organization that helps families navigate entertainment content. You need to check out the website, movieguide.org, if you're going to watch any movie, because it previews it and tells you what to be aware of and whether you should watch it. But he said he's neither stunned by the airing of Little Demon, nor is he surprised by the show's controversial themes, especially considering culture's precarious standing. But listen to his comments about Walt Disney and the sad decline of the Disney company.
You know, the top people that I knew who were very Christian, and some of them were, you know, going to churchgoers like John Lasseter, and went off the deep end because power corrupts, and now he's back. But a lot of those people were driven out, and I know the ones that were driven out. I know them personally, and the people that took over were not people who were concerned about family. One of the studio heads had, in the old days, Walt Disney required anybody that worked there would go to the park and dress as a character to meet the families and kids. Now there are people that don't want to go to the park. They don't want to dress in a Mickey Mouse or Minnie Mouse. They don't want to be part of the family culture. They've abandoned the family culture. So it's not Disney anymore. Walt would be shocked. You know, he was named after his father's best friend, who was the pastor of his church, and his pastor of his church named his son after Walt's father. And Walt, if you read his autobiography, not his biography, his autobiography, talks about every day he read the Bible and he prayed. So we've got now you can accuse him of other things. He also, you know, went to the Common Masonic Lodge and stuff, and then you can get angry. And a lot of people did because they just thought it was a club. But in his autobiography, his commitment to prayer, his commitment to the Bible was very strong. And my cousin was his right-hand man for a long time. And he had a strong commitment, and he wanted to make family. He didn't want to make them to be biblical stories, although many of them are biblical stories. And if you look at some of the Davy Crockett and the other ones, they're extremely Christian. So he did Christian stuff. They've kicked out the Christians. They've moved in the other direction. There's some left, and their hearts are broken. I mean, the head of animation was a friend. He was a Christian. The head of marketing was a friend. He was a Christian. The head of distribution was a friend. He was a Christian. So this has all gone downhill. And I'm hoping that when people see the nosedive of the figures, every year we do the figures, and, you know, Disney is taking a nosedive. Last year, 90% of the top grossing film contained content or worldview that was Christian, and often a strong Christian. Only 10% contained non-Christian, anti-Christian worldview. It's the same thing in streaming. People want the good, so they choose the good. Now, the good news about your program today is you're telling people not to go on this and to watch out for their kids going on it. So you're making a difference. You're doing exactly what we need to do to get the word out so families all over the country say, watch out for little demon.
Great advice, isn't it? As Congressman Mike Johnson from Louisiana said, please be careful. Our job as parents is to guard the hearts and minds of our kids. This culture has become alarmingly dark and desensitized, but this is not a game. Disney and FX have decided to embrace and market what is clearly evil. Stay far from it. And that is great advice.